Okay, so now that we're in our SharePoint here, you have your two reports. You have the kitchen sink and the ladder report. And best practice here is anytime that you need to use the report, you click the three dots and go down to download. That prevents your changes impacting other users since it is a shared environment. Any changes anyone makes within this report reflect on the other people. So any filters, any column hiding, or formatting of any kind gets shared across the board if you just open this in the browser or open this using the Open in app. So once it's downloaded, this is what you'll see. And very similar setup to Power BI. You have all your filters down the left side. And if there's filters applied, you can easily just click on the table and come up to clear filters, and that will erase everything. And just like Power BI, it's kind of a top-down status here. So you select your traded, shows you the buyers that are within that category, the department, category description, subcategory, all the way down to color and size. Vendor stock is not one of the slicers because it's easier to come up here to vendor stock number and manually type it in than scroll a huge slicer. So if you need to find a specific vendor stock number, right here is where you can do that. Another issue to check for is hidden columns. You can find them with this, looks like this, jumps from F to Z. So you just select both sides of that break, right click, and unhide. So if there's ever any issues, data doesn't look right, or if there's things missing, that's usually the culprit is there's hidden columns. So now that everything is cleared and unhidden, this is what you got. So you have your vendor stock number, the description for that item, and the item numbers within that description, as well as which color that item number represents and the size of that item. So as you scroll down, you have all of this information for that specific item, like when it went in, when it started to be sold, what it cost, markup percentage, max shelf quantity, and then you get into the sales numbers. How many stores is it sold in? What sold in? What was the last week average retail for it? And then the last week and last week breakdowns, as well as year to date. There is a lot of information in the kitchen sink. This first report, the last week sales, is the bulk of the kitchen sink. It throws a lot of data at you very quickly, and is definitely something to explore and figure out the best way to use it for you. But it also has some inventory information tagged on at the end, both warehouse and store level. And so the next two reports, last 4 weeks and year to date, are based off that first report. It is a very trimmed down version. This just gives you the straight up sales numbers. So like this one's last 4 weeks, the one I'm currently on is year to date information. The all item detail gives you a historical and forecast for each item number, item description, and then the vendor stock number and its color and size. So each entry will have your sales week over week, and then its last year comparison, in-stock information, how many were ordered, units per store per week, average price, how many stores it was sold in that week, in-stock percentage, hand quantity, then your forecasting, your supply plan, and then your demand forecast. So each entry will have this, similar filters on the side, as well as being able to search by item number and vendor stock number. Scrolling right takes you into the future. Scrolling left brings you back into. This is the total overview scorecard. This is directly from Retail Link. There is No calculations or anything on our side. This is straight numbers from Retail Link. So this is always the gold standard to check against if something seems off. We also have Department 9 scorecard, Department 23 scorecard, and then item info. This is pretty much the raw information from Retail Link for every single item. You have packaging, heights, lengths, widths, weights, every detail Walmart offers for each item. So then we get into our .com information. This is very similar to the first page. Goes through each version, each type of .com sale, and then same standard item information at the beginning. Gives you last week versus last year, last week, as well as year to date. And then shows you stock information at the end as well. So pretty much the first page, but completely geared to .com information. We also have our .com scorecard. This isn't like a standard scorecard from Retail Link. This is more of a generated one, so it gives you your top 10 items, what each type of .com fulfillment had during the last week and year to date, and then some other general statistics about .com sales as a total. The last page is our email template. This was designed off of the emails that Ashley's already sending out. So adjusted to fit your guys' needs. It has last week, last year, last week, and then year-to-date information, as well as pipeline and current store on hand.